Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel Academy of Internal Audit. So in our previous video we discussed about the term called parallel proceeding. In the parallel proceeding we understood there can be two different cases filed against the same person for the similar set of activities. And two different cases can be, one can be civil case, another can be criminal case. So now we are going to discuss about what is criminal case. So the moment we say about the criminal case, we call it criminal action also. So it is an action taken to file a criminal case against a person. So which of the action will be considered as the criminal action? So one important point we have to understood is the society. So whenever there is society is getting impacted because of an activity of any of the person is called the criminal action. We have to raise the criminal case against that person whenever any society is getting impacted. I'll give you an example. For example, you are running on the road or just normally you are walking on the road and I hit you with my car. I was driving a car and I hit you from the behind. So now, and I was carrying the wrongful intent in my mind. So what will happen? So this is an activity which is where the society is getting impacted. This is nowhere promoted by the government or jurisdiction and it is strictly prohibited also, where the government do not want that this kind of activity should happen in their region, right? So it is the situation when the society is getting impacted. So here we have to understand whenever society is impacted, at that point of time the criminal case used to be filed against that person, right? So to understand the criminal case we have to divide into the different steps. So first point is, it is an action brought by it is a complaint, or we can say action brought by the government. So one thing we have to understand is, whenever this kind of situation happened, when I hit you from the behind while you were walking on the road, you cannot directly go to the court and file a criminal case against me. Every time whenever a person would like to file a criminal case, they have to approach to the government first. So who is the government here? Government can be your local police station, it can be women's cell, it can be cyber cell, children protection cell also, right? You have to approach to the relevant authority depending upon the nature of the incident. You have to approach to that authority, you have to explain them what has happened with you. Basis your complaint, they will be filed. You have to give the information to the court, to the authority, which we call the FIR, first information report. So you will be filing the FIR to the court, to the police station or the other authorities. Basis your information, the authorities will do the preliminary investigation, and if they found that your complaint, the information which you have forwarded is based upon certain merits, then these authority will take you to the court and will file a criminal case against me, right? So you cannot directly go to the court and file a criminal case against me in this incident. So it is an action, it is a complaint brought by the government. So every time whenever you face any kind of this situation, you have to approach to the local authorities. Local authorities will investigate it at the preliminary level. They will not be concluding it, but they will be just doing the preliminary investigation, and basis the investigation they will be taking you to the court. So it's an action brought by the government. Now the point is, sir, so it means in each and every criminal case there should be a person who is forwarding the information to the government or to the authority, and then the government is taking it to the court. There are certain exceptions to it where the government can also rightly without any complainant, they can also notice certain things and they can directly file a criminal case against the accused, right? In this situation I am the accused, right? I am the accused who has hit you way behind from the backside. So this is the first thing we have understood, that it is a complaint brought by the government. So now we have understood one thing, apart from you and me, there will be third party also who is involved in this entire criminal case, that is the government. We call it state also, right? So it is a complaint brought by the government acting on behalf of the citizens. So the government is taking action on behalf of the citizen, as in this case they are acting on your behalf, while when the government themselves notices something, again in their situation they are acting on the behalf of the society, on the behalf of the citizen. So second point is the government is acting on behalf of citizen in the interest of jurisdiction. So they are actually acting in the interest of jurisdiction. They are taking this action because of the certain prohibitory situation, certain the situation which are not recommended, which are not promoted by the government or court, or I would say jurisdiction. So it is in the interest of jurisdiction. It is an action against a person accused of violating the law. In this situation, I am the person, so hence I will be called as accused. I am the accused who is found of violating the law, right? I was not supposed to be involved into this activity, but yes, I was accused of violating the law. Though I have not proven guilty, but yes, I am the accused of it, right? You have filed a complaint against me that I hit you from the backside and with the malicious intent. Hence, the government is taking you and filing a criminal case against me. So fourth thing we have understood, it is a criminal case is an act, is a complaint brought by the government acting on behalf of the citizen in the interest of the jurisdiction and against a person accused of violating the law. This is the point. So by this way we have understood how the criminal case used to be filed in the court. Now once the case is filed, I am being treated as accused, but whether the court is going to conclude me as guilty, there are two important points which the government normally used to test before announcing a person, before declaring a person as a guilty. So to be guilty of a crime, a defendant must be found to, I must be found to two things. Number one, I have committed an offending act. I was actually involved into the activity which was offending is in nature. Yes, hitting someone who is walking on the road and hitting by the car is an offending act. But what if it's an accident? Right? So second important point also needs to be proven is that the defendant must be found to have the requisite culpable mental state. Culpable mental state. It was not an accident. It also needs to be proven in the court that I hit you with the certain malicious intent, certain wrongful intent, right? So intent also needs to be proven that it was not an accident. I was carrying some wrongful intent in my mind, hence I hit you, right? So this is the second point which needs to be proven. So one is I was found involved into certain offending act, and number two, I was carrying the culpable mental state. So there are two legal terms which are used for these two conditions. First is called the actus reus. Actus reus is the situation when about the condition that the person was found into committing an offending act. Second is mens rea. Mens rea means the person was actually carrying the requisite culpable mental state also. Requisite, whatever the required needs to be proved, right? Requisite culpable wrongful mental state means intent, right? So number one is actus reus, second is the mens rea. These two things needs to be proven to declare a person as the guilty of a criminal offense, right? But there are certain exceptions to it also, where both of these conditions are not necessary to be proven before declaring a person as a guilty. So especially first condition is normally required to be proven that a person was found involved into an offending act, but second condition can be exempted. Like there are certain highly or strictly liability offenses where the mental state needs not to be proven. Like if I was found with certain contraband in my pocket, I was carrying drugs in my pocket, it is not necessary for the government to prove that yes, why I was carrying it, whether my intent was correct or not. No, it's completely prohibitory in nature. Hence the state doesn't need to prove that what was my intent. I was not supposed to carry any kind of the drugs in my pocket or at my home. If I was found with this, number one condition, I was found committing into an offending act, yes, it is proven. Second, intent needs not to be proven, right? So the court can directly declare me as the guilty of the crime. Second situation can be, for example, there is a huge cash found at my home. Huge cash found at my home. While most of the transactions are not allowed to be done in the cash above than the specified limit, and the limit varies from jurisdiction to jurisdiction. So if I was found with the cash of huge amount which is much more higher than the requisite or the allowed limit, then again in that case the government or the police or the authorities can directly initiate a criminal case against me, right? So this is what we have understood in the criminal case. So just to revise quickly, criminal case is a criminal action, is in a criminal complaint brought by the government in the interest of the jurisdiction on behalf of the citizen against a person accused of violating the law, and two things needs to be proven. Number one, the person has committed a wrongful act, and number two, he has committed that act with the wrongful malicious intent as well, right? And there are certain exceptions to it when there are certain strictly liability offences where the second condition need not to be proven. And two more things we have understood. Number one, criminal case can be filed when society is getting impacted. Whenever society is getting impacted, civil case cannot be a right way to proceed. Only and only a criminal case will be initiated, right? And there will be more than two parties involved: you, me, and the state, or we call it government, right? So this is about the criminal case, a brief about the criminal case. So I hope the criminal case concept is clear to all of you. In the next video we will be talking about the civil case. If you like this video, I'll request you to like, subscribe to our channel and click on the bell button to get notification about the upcoming videos. Thank you so much for watching.